Amelia and the Secret Garden Door. Amelia was 9 years old. She had just moved to a new town with her parents. The streets were quiet, and the houses seemed older than the ones in her old city. Amelia didn't know anyone here. There were no children playing outside when she looked through her window. Most days, her parents were busy. They worked in their small home office, and Amelia had to find her own fun. Sometimes she read books. Sometimes she drew pictures. But her favorite thing to do was go into the back garden and explore. The garden was big, but it wasn't tidy. Grass grew tall and weeds popped up everywhere. The flowers looked wild, and the air always smelled fresh after it rained. Amelia liked walking between the bushes and pretending she was in a jungle. One warm afternoon, she was chasing a yellow butterfly. It fluttered past the old rose bushes and towards the far end of the garden. Amelia followed it, stepping carefully through the tall grass. That was when she noticed something strange. Behind a wall of thick green vines, she saw a shape. She pulled the vines apart with her hands. Her eyes grew wide. It was a small wooden door. The door was not like any she had seen before. It was old, the wood dark and rough, but still strong. Right in the middle of it, there was a carving of a single flower. The flower's petals curved gently, and even though it was made of wood, it looked soft. Amelia stepped closer. She touched the carving with her fingers. It felt cool under her hand. There was no handle, no knob, no lock, nothing that could open it. She tilted her head and stared at it. "What are you doing here?" she whispered, as if the door could answer. It stood quietly, covered again by the vines that swayed in the breeze. But to Amelia, it seemed almost alive. The more she looked at it, the more it felt like it was inviting her to come closer, to try and see what was behind it. And that was when Amelia's heart began to beat faster. The next day, Amelia went straight back to the little wooden door. She couldn't stop thinking about it all night. She wanted to see it again. The garden was quiet. The air was warm and the tall grass swayed gently. She pushed through the vines and stood in front of the door. A soft wind began to blow. It brushed her cheeks and made the leaves around her rustle. Then she thought she heard something. It was a whisper. "Knock 3 times." Amelia froze. She looked around, but no one was there. The voice had come from the wind, or maybe from the door itself. Her heart beat fast. She felt a little scared, but also excited. She raised her hand and knocked. 1, 2, 3. At once, the carving of the flower began to glow. A warm, golden light shone from its petals. Slowly, the vines covering the door moved aside, curling away like they were alive. The door gave a long, low creak as it opened. Behind it was not the garden wall anymore, but a tunnel filled with golden light. Amelia stepped forward. The light wrapped around her like a soft blanket. She walked through the tunnel and came out into a place she had never seen before. All around her were flowers taller than she was, in every color she could imagine. Some glowed as if they had little lanterns inside them. The air smelled sweet and fresh. In the distance, she saw shining ponds, their water sparkling like gems. Colorful birds flew in the air, singing songs that made her smile. Amelia stood still, amazed. It felt like magic was alive all around her. Amelia walked slowly through the magical garden. She wanted to see everything. The flowers swayed gently, even though there was no wind. The ponds sparkled like they were full of stars. The birds sang in voices sweeter than any song she had ever heard. She was looking at a bright blue flower when she heard footsteps. They were soft but steady, coming from behind her. Amelia turned around. An elderly woman stood there. Her hair was white like snow, and it fell gently over her shoulders. Her eyes were warm and kind. She wore a long green dress that seemed to blend with the garden. The woman smiled. "Hello, Amelia," she said. Amelia's eyes grew wide. You know my name?" "Yes," the woman said. My name is Liora. I am the garden keeper. Amelia took a small step closer. What is this place? This, Liora said, spreading her arms wide, is the secret garden. It is a place of beauty and magic, but not everyone can find it. She looked at Amelia with gentle eyes. Only those with kind hearts can see the little door. Amelia felt a warm feeling in her chest. So, I can come here because I'm kind? Liora nodded. Yes, but remember, the beauty you see here depends on how you care for it. If you help the garden, it will stay alive and happy. If you forget it, the magic will fade. Amelia looked around at the flowers, the birds, and the glowing ponds. She didn't want them to fade. I want to help, she said quickly. I can feed the birds. I can water the plants. I can take care of it. Leora's smile grew brighter. Then the garden will always welcome you, Amelia. Every visit, you must give it love, time, and care. That is the way to keep the magic alive. Amelia nodded. She felt happy inside. This garden was special, and now she was part of it. From that day, she knew she had a promise to keep. One sunny day, Amelia walked through the magical garden. She wanted to visit the glowing lily pond she had seen before. It was her favorite place in the whole garden. The water shone like gold, and the lilies opened like tiny suns. She was walking quickly when she heard a small sound. It was a soft chirp, but it sounded weak. Amelia stopped and looked around. Near a patch of flowers, she saw a little bird. Its wing looked hurt, and it could not fly. Amelia's first thought was to keep going to the lily pond. She was so excited to see it again, but then she remembered Leora's words. The beauty you see here depends on how you care for it. Amelia looked at the bird. It needed her. She knelt down slowly and spoke in a gentle voice. Don't be scared. I'll help you. She picked up the tiny bird carefully and carried it to a safe spot under a leafy tree. She found a small bowl and filled it with water from the pond. She also gathered a few seeds from the garden for the bird to eat. Amelia stayed with it, keeping it warm and safe until the sun began to set. She didn't see the glowing lily pond that day, but she felt happy inside. The next morning, Amelia went back to the garden. The flowers looked brighter, the air smelled sweeter, and the birds sang louder than ever. She smiled because she understood something important. Kindness made the garden grow. One morning, Amelia woke up thinking about all the things she wanted. She wished for new toys, exciting games, and more adventures outside the garden. For many days, she spent her time dreaming and thinking about herself. She forgot to visit the magical garden. She forgot to feed the birds. She forgot to water the flowers. When Amelia finally returned, she felt her heart sink. The flowers had drooped. Their colors were dull, and their petals hung low. The ponds, which used to sparkle like gems, were now still and quiet. The magical birds that once sang beautiful songs were gone. The air felt heavy and sad. Amelia felt a deep guilt in her chest. She had promised Liora she would care for the garden, but she had broken that promise. She ran through the garden, calling for Liora. Liora! Liora! The garden keeper appeared, her face calm but serious. Liora, Amelia said, her voice shaking. I'm so sorry. I forgot to take care of the garden. I was only thinking about what I wanted. Liora looked at her kindly and said, Amelia, magic fades when we think only of ourselves. This garden grows with kindness, care, and love. When you stop giving those things, the beauty begins to fade. But if you care for others again, you will see the beauty return. Amelia nodded quickly. I'll fix it. I promise. From that moment, she began to work hard. She watered every plant in the garden. She sang softly to the flowers. She left seeds and fresh water for the birds, hoping they would come back. She even planted new seeds in empty spaces where flowers had died. Day and night, she cared for the garden. Slowly, the flowers began to lift their heads. The ponds began to shine again. And one morning, she heard the first sweet song of a returning bird. Amelia smiled. She knew Liora was right. When you care for others, beauty always comes back. Over the next days, the garden grew more beautiful than Amelia had ever seen. The flowers stood tall with bright, happy colors. The pond sparkled like the morning sun. The air was full of the sweet songs of birds that had returned. Amelia walked through the garden with a smile on her face. She felt proud and happy that she had cared for it again. Liora stood waiting near the glowing lily pond. When Amelia came closer, Liora smiled warmly. "The garden is more beautiful than before," Amelia said. "Yes," Liora nodded. "Because you gave it your care, your time, and your kindness. That is why it blooms. Remember, Amelia, kindness is the door to every heart. When you give it freely, the world around you will grow brighter, just like this garden." Amelia listened carefully. She knew these were words she would never forget. After a long, happy day in the garden, Amelia walked back to the little wooden door. She turned to look one more time at the glowing flowers and the peaceful ponds. She waved goodbye to Liora. When she stepped through the doorway, the vines slowly covered it again. The glow faded, and when Amelia turned around, the door was closed. She reached out to touch it, but it did not open. The garden was gone from sight, but not from her heart. Back home, Amelia thought about Leora's words every day. She began to live by them. She helped her neighbors. She shared her toys. She smiled at everyone she met. And slowly, she made many new friends, not by asking for things, but by giving kindness. She had learned something important. Magic grows where kindness lives. If you enjoyed Amelia's adventure, follow for more stories and subscribe so you never miss the next magical journey.